Hi, I'm Brandy. I'm a printer at Hub Labels, and I'm proud to make it in Maryland.
Good morning. This is Mike Kelleher with the Maryland Manufacturing Extension Partnership, and I am excited to be here for the next in our series of our Manufacturing Spotlight series. Today, we are joined by Hub Labels out in Hagerstown, Maryland, and we've got some interesting conversations and a really good story about registered apprenticeship and how and why it's changing the manufacturing industry today. So introductions. First, I'm joined on my team by our apprenticeship expert and workforce and organizational development, Miss Becky Kemp. Becky, would you like to give a brief introduction?
Sure. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this video talking about apprenticeship. This is one of the things that we are the most proud of at Maryland MEP. As Mike said, we use this tool often to help companies grow young employees into more seasoned and experienced individuals. And nationwide, Maryland MEP is proud to be one of only 4 of the 52 MEP centers that actually holds apprenticeship standards for themselves. So we help a lot of different companies in a lot of different ways. And apprenticeship is continuing to grow. In the state of Maryland, we're about to see a large investment of over $5 million in apprenticeship, all different types, different occupations, and we're excited to be a part of that.
Great. Thank you, Becky. And from Hub Labels, we're joined by Carrie and Brandy. Do you all want to introduce yourselves?
I'll go first. Good morning. I'm Carrie Aaron, Vice President of Human Resources here at Hub Labels. I have the pleasure of working with a great group of folks, like-minded folks that truly understand investing in our workforce and allowed us the opportunity to start an apprenticeship program. So I'll let Brandy go next.
Brandy White. I've worked at Hub Labels for a little over 15 years, mainly Aquaflex presses, but I've been trained recently on the new HP press, and I've done some training on the hot stamp and embossing machine, and I also know how to run the offline GMDC die cut machine also.
Excellent. Well, welcome and thank you for agreeing to talk to us today. We're really excited for the conversation and really excited to share what you all have been doing. Carrie, I'm going to start with you. Can you just tell us a little bit about Hub Labels?
Sure. Hub Labels is a family-owned company. Really, our focus is in pressure-sensitive labels and linerless labels. Pressure sensitive is a fancy way of describing sticker, which is faux pas around here. So they're not stickers, they're labels. And, that is what we specialize in. We consider ourselves, experts in that area. And we've been around for 42, 43 years, I think.
Excellent. And Brandy, how about you? When did you join Hub?
I was 20, right after my 21st birthday.
Okay. And what made you reach out to them or apply for the job? What made you want to join the Hub team?
Well, my brother had worked here probably 9 years before me. So as of right now, he's my pretty much like my boss.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Little family establishment. Is there any family rivalry? Does he take it easy on you?
Yeah.
Good. And sort of what was your background? What jobs had you had prior to joining Hub?
Nothing really great. It was pretty much right out. I graduated right before my 17th birthday. I graduated out of 11th grade, and my first job was Taco Bell, and I was there for a little while. And then I actually worked at Ofray Maryland Ribbon for a little while, and I actually printed on ribbon there. And then I started working at First Data, and then Hub Labels called me, and I was like, I'd rather work for Hub Labels than First Data. I am not good on the phone.
So let me ask you this. What has been the most exciting experience about working at Hub?
Probably one of the most exciting things is just getting to know everybody here, working with people. We all are like family. We help each other out. Doesn't matter what experience you have, you can always help anybody out.
Perfect. So coming out of school and working in a few different jobs, Taco Bell and a few different, businesses and even a little bit of manufacturing, what was it like to come on board and have to learn completely new skill sets about, running the different machinery and learning different processes. What was that like?
Well, I was so nervous, especially coming in here. I think when I started, there may have only been 2 or 3 females, and they slowly, they couldn't handle it. For some reason, they couldn't handle being on the press, but I've stuck around for 15 years and I can still run a press.
I love it. As the dad of 4 daughters, I'm not sure anyone can handle the females, but I think they should take over. They do a great job. So, Carrie, before I jump to you and ask kind of why registered apprenticeship, Becky, I'm going to pull you in and just ask, sort of what is registered apprenticeship and how are manufacturers using it to change their workforce?
Registered apprenticeship is truly equivalent to a college degree, either an associate's or a bachelor's, depending on the length of the apprenticeship program. So for many employees, it's become a very attractive way for employers to both hire people off the street because they show that they've got a dedicated training program in order to help somebody move forward in their field, graduate, and be credentialed. And the other thing about apprenticeship that's becoming more and more popular is that young people like Brandy and like other people, young people are looking for ways to move forward in their company. Gone are the days where someone would work in a job for 10 years before they would be willing to be advanced. They just sit there and work and there'd be no advancement. They get a small raise every year and that would be the end of it. When we're looking at today's generation and we're looking at millennials and all of the generations to follow, they are really seriously looking to move forward quickly. And apprenticeship is a structured methodology that employers can embrace and do that so they can move their people forward and continue to put people in a program that allows them to not only learn and excel at their job, but also to learn and excel at different parts of the business. And I think that's the reason why we're seeing a resurgence in it and why we're probably going to see a lot of activity going forward.
Great. Thanks, Becky. So, Carrie, Becky just gave us a great overview of apprenticeship. Hub, who's been kind of at this in Maryland for a number of years, and kind of your role as overseeing the talent development. Why did you all decide to go down the path of bringing apprenticeship into Hub?
I'd say it's a couple reasons. One, we had a fair amount of success with the youth apprenticeship program that is available in partnership with our local school system. We were able to attract some very wonderful students that were graduating seniors. And with that success, we were like, okay, how do we take that to the next level? A press operator is a very skilled position, very similar to trades that I think people are accustomed to thinking or associating apprenticeships to. So, plumbers, electricians, it's a very skilled position. And we needed to put together a formalized training program that had very specific criteria and things that needed to be met, along with that wage portion that Becky mentioned. People are seeking and wanting. So it allowed us to build out this program to really make our training programs really robust and adding this progression for future press operators here at Hub. The reality is there's not like a plethora of press operators out there that know print and know how to run these machines. So we had to be forward thinking and know that, we have to build something internally to meet the needs of the company into the future.
Great. Thank you. So, Brandy, we've heard from Becky on what apprenticeship is, and we've heard from Carrie as to sort of why Hub went down this path. How about from your standpoint, when Carrie reached out and said, would you like to do this? Did you have any idea of what she was talking about, and how has that experience been to become a registered apprentice at Hub?
Well, I wasn't sure of all that was involved with it, but I was like, yeah, I'll do it. A lot of testing, let me tell you. But I actually think the tooling that I used was a lot of good information on there. I mean, I got to do stuff that graphics does, safety does, customer service. It teaches you all that if you go through the right, testing for that. But it gives you knowledge of what everybody else goes through in this business too.
Do you like that ability to learn different things and have access to different classes and content that you can take to learn more about your job?
Oh yeah, I learned so much information. I took so many notes. I don't know how many notebooks I have full up there, but yeah, you learn a lot. Especially I learned a lot in safety. I'm on the safety committee here at Hub Labels too. So I could use that in my meetings to find other ways to, get rid of sharp stuff. I had to move certain chemicals that's not supposed to be where they had them. So I'm sure that would help with the OSHA and all when they do their walkthrough. So
that's great. And how about, one of the key components of registered apprenticeship is the application of those skills in the work environment. How are you taking what you're learning and applying that to your everyday or learning different things in the hands-on method of in your work life, in your daily work activities?
Well, like I said, with the safety part of it, I was able to use that to fix some safety concerns around here. But even they have mathematical, test on there, and it helps you find shortcuts to do your math for how you do your conversions and everything. But yeah, you can use it every day in here. I can teach people every day of what I learned to help their job, make it easier for them.
That's great. Becky, can you talk a little bit about that concept of not only earn and learn, but also demonstrating the competencies and the skills that really help an apprentice succeed at their job?
The competencies in an apprenticeship are directly job related. So you've got your learning, tooling you. In Brandy's case, she's also taken other coursework that Hub Labels has used in the past and is expanding into that. So she's definitely doing all of those things. The competency part of it is where you're actually demonstrating to your boss that you know how to do what you're supposed to know how to do. So all the new equipment that Brandy has learned and mastered, all the different skill sets, that's all part of the competency piece of apprenticeship programs. If you look at any apprenticeship program, it's got two main pieces to it. The first piece is schooling, a variety of it like Brandy has taken. And the second piece of it is the competencies. What do I have to do on the job to show that I am a competent apprentice? And if they can show those things to their boss, then they're able to move on and pass the program. And we're almost there, Brandy. It's very close. She's going to be done here at the end of the year. So we're excited about that. For the competency piece of it is something that is also provided by Tooling You. And then the organization tweaks it to fit their specific needs. All organizations are different. A machinist in one company is not the same as a machinist in another company. So though it's a good core, a lot of times there are changes and things that have to happen to those core competencies that an apprentice uses. And that's something that Hub did back in the upfront days, was made those changes to that particular competency piece so that we were really reflecting what Brandy was going to be doing all the time, not what somebody somewhere in a book thought she was going to be doing, but what she was really going to be doing. So that was a very effective thing for us. And that, again, is a part of a registered apprenticeship.
Great. So Carrie, registered apprenticeship is we know it's a pretty intensive undertaking, and it can often be a lot of work, but how has that translated or has it impacted the rest of the organization? Are you bringing any of these learnings and any of the new training programs and structures out to the rest of the organization, that even the ones that are not in the apprenticeship program?
Absolutely. So it is a heavy lift. It does require you to really think about what truly is required for someone to be successful and in a specific role, whatever, position you're looking to make an apprentice. I can say that for me, and going through that process with Becky's help, I have now taken that same framework and applied it to customer service. We've standardized this past year our 30, 60, 90 training onboarding programs. to mimic basically what they have for press operator. So it's definitely been very valuable for me to just think about how we approach some of our internal training programs and map out success for specific positions.
Great. So Brandy, I'm going to shift the spotlight onto you a little bit now. What does a day in the life of Brandy look like at Hub?
Well, I have to check and see what press needs workout. I mean, like I said, Aquaflex was my first press I ran in here. So there's still one that runs, not all the time, but it still gets some work on it. So that's my first priority. It is to get the work off that machine done. And then of course I keep track of the GMDC, which does all the offline work from the HP press because they can't die cut or anything. So I look and see what they need for the day for both shifts, get all their core labels printed out for them, get all their jobs in order, tell them what needs to ship for the day. And then sometimes if Ryan's off work, I fill in, I run the HP some days. I take over. I'm still learning the hot stamp and the emboss machine, but if they need me, I can run it. Just some days I just don't know what's going on. There's just so much.
What's your favorite part of the job?
Getting to know the people in here. I have some great friends that I've had for 15 plus years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind helping anybody out. I pretty much get along with everybody. I try to get along with everybody. So I help out where I can.
So we've all been in and around manufacturing for a long time. And a lot of times people that aren't in that space don't know what we do, don't know what manufacturing is. When you're at a family barbecue or you're at happy hour with your friends and they say, what do you do for work? What's your answer? What do you tell them? What do you tell them it is that you do?
I brag a little bit. I said, I'm a printer and I'm the only female printer in there. I'm proud to be the only female in here. It's, it's an accomplishment and then I was the first one to finish the first certified printers testing, all 3 levels.
That is very cool and you should be proud of it. So one of the things we want to use this for is to really inspire the next generation. Like I said, I'm a dad of 4 daughters. If you were talking to a young girl in middle school or high school, and what would you tell her about why she should get involved in manufacturing and consider taking a job at a place like Hub?
Because as long as you know that you can do it, you can do it. It doesn't matter that you're a female. I've stuck it out 15 years and I think I do a pretty good job at what I do. And, don't ever let anybody say you can't do it just because you're a female.
That's awesome.
That's
Carrie,
great.
what are you guys doing to find the next Brandy?
Well, that's a great question. We recently just hosted almost 200 students from Washington County Public Schools during Manufacturing Month. We asked to partner with the school system and we paid to bus them here. And they had tours of our facilities to see what we can do. And demographically, it was a wide mix. We didn't put any stipulations around who could or could not attend. I think, Brandy had the luxury of having a family member here that was like, hey, it's a good place to work. We do have more females out on the floor now running the GMDC and another individual as a press assistant currently. So, I think it's just a matter of educating folks it is a clean environment. It is a great career. As I said before, press operators is a very skilled position and it's something that is a very valuable part of our entire operations. I mean, that's truly where the money is made and where the company is profitable, is when those machines are running efficiently and at the highest quality possible. So, building that workforce is really important.
And I think you guys do a great job of truly inspiring those younger kids, that next generation, right? You do a good job of sharing your story and getting out there and making your facility accessible, because that's something that we all as manufacturers face every day, right? It's not dirty. It is clean. It is high tech. It is, fast paced, but you're doing it with good people. So I think I congratulate you all, and it's always fun to watch what Hub is doing in that space. And I know a lot of companies try to copy it. So that's a compliment to you all.
I gotta give
Becky, before we close out, we're getting ready to celebrate National Apprenticeship Week. Can you share maybe just your thoughts on why apprenticeship is so important to the manufacturing industry and how we can scale it and take it to more places?
Well, there is no question that apprenticeship has ebbed and flowed in manufacturing over the last 30 years. There was a period of time in the early 2000s, late 1990s, when apprenticeship was not being used by hardly anybody except the plumbers, the carpenters, and the electricians. But now in manufacturing, the recognition of the amount of skill, the amount of education, and the amount of support that an individual needs to do a lot of the jobs in manufacturing is really coming to the forefront. And so I think what we're going to see, in addition to the state of Maryland helping manufacturers with additional funding, I think we're going to see this come to light as truly one of the ways that with on-the-job training, employers can help to retain workforce. In the last year, turnover has been over 60% in the state of Maryland, if you just look at raw numbers. And of that, a lot of it was manufacturing. A lot of it was almost 50% was manufacturing. So if you look at those numbers and you know that apprenticeship is a way that you can not only bring on good people, but train them in a structured method that will help everybody involved learn the job and perform the job to its highest levels, there's no question that it's definitely something that all manufacturers should pursue.
Excellent. Thank you, Becky. So as we close out, Carrie, Brandy, Hub, thank you guys so much for being a part of not just this manufacturing spotlight series, but for all of the work that you have done to help promote Make It in Maryland, to help promote manufacturing. Brandy, what you're doing to promote manufacturing for young women, I think is truly inspirational. This was great. I appreciate your time. I know you guys are busy, but thank you very much.